Yeah, yeah.
Well, we're live now and we are here with David Starlyte. Hi, David. How are you?
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
Um, I'm good. I'm good. And I imagine it's beautiful weather or maybe warm where you're at now.
It's humid. It's just a beautiful morning. For some reason, the last couple of weeks we've just had the most heavenly weather. Not every day, because there's sometimes quite a lot of rain, which is beautiful too, because everyone loves tropical rain. Uh, it's just very special, and the energy shifted a bit. It seems like there was a bit of density around in January, and February's been a brighter month.
Oh my goodness. You want to tell everybody where you're broadcasting from?
I am in far north Queensland, Australia. So it's not just Australia; it's like the more remote part of Australia in the tropics. So not many people even know there is a tropical Australia.
When you said that, I was like, tropics? We've all watched the movies. That's why we're going, what do you mean, tropics? But that's where you get that humidity, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a bit like Florida, perhaps, but the oldest rainfall in the world is in this region. So it's got a very ancient energy and a very ancient connection.
Is that what draws you to be in Australia?
I think I actually grew up in Africa, so I think I struggled in Australia just to find the nature connection and the energy. The energy was very strong for me in Africa. And when I got to Australia, I lived in a couple of cities which just had no energy, very flat and very kind of just like desert like that just went on. The land went on forever. And I was looking for something grounding. So when I look outside, I just see green, I just see trees, everything grows. You know, you plant anything, it will just sort of spring to life out here. So I would say there's a lot of life force energy in just in the air. You can kind of breathe it in. But that's an important part of being here, and I think what draws people here is to feel that life force.
Well, you are, what I have out there is about Buddhist. What was it? I don't remember what I put out there because I can't see it. But
uh,
what do
you,
you like practice?
I have multiple practices, and my background is eclectic. So I've traveled a lot and studied a lot, not just Australia, not just Africa, but also other continents. And I've really been connected to mindfulness, Buddhist mindfulness, since touching off in Asia, I guess about now it's over 10 years back, but really living in Asia, spending time there, getting immersed in Buddha, in Buddhism, and visiting many temples, meditating in temples, and having this deep connection with that type of energy, which is very peaceful, very resonant, almost timeless, I would say. But in terms of my practices, you know, I spent quite a lot of time doing yoga. Since my accident, that's been something I've been less physical, less able to be physical. So I've been studying a lot more, I guess, more intellectual than physical. I always think it's so important to keep balanced. And in terms of practices, just for me, just going for a walk is really really beautiful, and particularly there are some hikes here which are kind of on my doorstep, so I can just go out for an hour, half an hour, just to explore, and that's beautiful because always there's opportunities to spend time in nature, to feel that energy, to be quiet inside, to go still inside. One doesn't need a specific directive practice. I have a few on YouTube where I do these guided meditations, and I really enjoy guided meditation, and I do a weekly class. I teach a weekly class.
Huh.
So meditation's really, really cool. Oh, hola! We
Yeah,
got a little
hola.
message there.
Kathy says, hola, Debbie and David. We have people from Idaho. We have, I've been putting them up to say hello. You've been
Idaho.
Idaho? You know
Wow.
Idaho?
I
You've been,
actually don't, but I'm
oh,
getting to know. I'd love to visit.
oh my goodness. Well, you've been in the most beautiful places all over the world, and I guess exploring nature and the inner thing, uh, well-being and all of that, because it does say you're a well-being consultant. But I love this nomadic healer, that you can go everywhere. There's so many things that you do. When I look at your bio, I'm just amazed. And I do know you a bit, and you're just such a wonderful being. I'm just so honored to even know you and to get to spend little times with you. You're also very creative, and you have art for sale. So we'll be talking about that later. But I just thought that maybe you had something to talk to today about calmness, let's call it that, and how important it is in our lives to be around nature and to experience maybe quiet time or something like that. Because David, all morning I've been listening to the news, and I go, really, how do I release that, or should I bombard myself with that? I think it's probably not good for people's well-being. What do you think?
Turn off the news.
Okay.
uh, like anything, a little trickle you can manage. And then we're talking about how we're filtering this information through our bodies, through our nervous system. So everyone's got their own threshold, and maybe depending on how you're feeling on that day, you may feel, oh, I feel really strong today. Maybe I can dose up on the news. And some days you'll be tired, vulnerable, more stressed, needing to recover, needing to go into a little sanctuary. So don't turn on the news in those moments. It's really helpful as a practice not to tune into the news, because it is the fake news that you're tuning into, and it depends on your news source. So be mindful what are you listening to, which is the news source, because
Right.
there are some independent journalists out there. There's a few left. It's quite hard to find them, and I'm sure you know all of this already. But it's journalism traditionally was about asking questions. It wasn't about giving people agendas or answers that came from agendas. It was about actually questioning what is truth, what is real. That's what a journalist's job used to be. Now it's entertainment, and it's entertainment owned by a couple of big corporations. They tend to, I don't know if you've seen corporate structures, but they're all these umbrellas of umbrellas of umbrellas and umbrellas. It's quite it's quite funny when you look at ownership and who owns what. And with American corporations, it's just like this swirling umbrella sort of monolith of more and more. This one owning that one, which owns that one, or has a 30% in this one, which is 30% in that one, and it tends to come to the same sources. So even if you listen to left media or right media, it's got the same ownership, and it's being funded by the same corporations. So whether Pfizer's funding both sides, as just as a given example of a company. So you're not getting anything independent from the mainstream news. It is fake news. It's agenda driven, and
I
so
I worry about that
tuning into it.
energy. You know how we get so emotional and or angry, or and it starts just being all around, and family members. And so it's like, I don't know how. I know I can turn it off, but I do have somebody that listens to it all day. So it's like, guy, it's in my house. I'm just like,
Yeah,
I
I can relate to that completely. If I ever visit my parents, it's the same story with putting it on. It's not just, it's the volume, where the like broadcast volume, where it's like in a stadium or so. The
yes.
house is like a stadium, so you cannot avoid it. And it
How
is
important is it to have quiet?
it's just like medicine. We think of medicine. How do we think of medicine? And having opportunities for silence, for stillness, that's your medicine.
Oh.
That's how important it is.
I love that you said that. I've never heard it that way. Your medicine is probably several things. And I think that we don't, at least where the people I know and where we live here, it is constant, noise and sound and chatter and, emotions and energy. We don't have that time, or we don't take that time, I guess, to do it, because I have a beach here I haven't been to for 2 years, over 2 years now, where it was my, really my grounding. Matter of fact, I wanted to ask you about that. I got a thing called, they're talking about earthing, to walk in your bare feet and to connect to the earth. And so I bought something that's supposed to ground you. But do you kind of feel, in your experience and stuff, how you connect to the earth is through walking barefoot or setting on grass or anything like that?
With anything, one can set intentions, and those intentions are really powerful. Even if your intention is not good, that can still be very powerful. So intentions are really powerful. And being in the tropics, it's obviously a great opportunity for that, because people just are barefoot most of the day. People are barefoot. It's just the culture of the tropics. So it's the necessity of living in the tropics. When you see someone wearing closed shoes, you're kind of shocked, like, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so it's kind of this opportunity, but definitely the feet are underestimated, and most people just take them so for granted. They just shake their feet and use them and run around, and always busy with things, and there's not much gratitude for feet. So have a foot massage, go to a foot doctor, podiatrist regularly. Consider your feet as these foundations of your physical being, of your physical world, and gratitude for them is really important. And I experienced a whole lot of pain in my left foot. It was kind of like being tortured. And I mean, thank God now that pain has gone. So I've definitely experienced a lot of foot pain. So I know that feet need circulation, they need love, they need attention.
When you help people as a well-being consultant, what are some of the things you address?
Well, it is wide ranging. So, and because I've traveled a lot, I've come across over 100 cultures. I work with people from over 100 cultural backgrounds and countries. So there's not a single there's not a single element, or there's not like one thing that I'm specializing in. It's more meeting that person where they are, being present with them and responding accordingly. So
Mm.
being present is something that we don't often talk about. In mindfulness, we talk about it. Uh, and that is actually being in the moment. And emotional intimacy, really being with someone else, is about, I mean, there's not a lot of words that you need to use for these concepts. It's about immediacy. So when being observant even of someone's breathing, say you with a loved one, is your breathing matching theirs? That's one key pointer one can look at the breathing. So when I'm with someone, it's about empathizing with them, entering their world. So I'm entering into the world and I'm present with them. And that alone is kind of like opening a portal, opening up a gateway. One can always ask the right questions. That's helpful. People's problems often do fit into common categories, so we can talk a bit about that. However, I kind of work in a bit of a multi-dimensional way, so I'm not sort of single-minded or just working with the conscious mind or just working with the subconscious mind. I'm kind of quite far-reaching in my range, but really some of the principles are just so important. Starting with presence, with being present with someone. With breathing together.
I think that's so great because life can be fast and intense and emotional. And to have somebody there just, kind of experiencing it with you, because we can have tons of people around us, yet we can be alone in a lot of things. It's so difficult. I know for me to go out and to care for myself because I put everything else first. And I think a lot of people that are watching are in the same thing. So to have something like that, I love the idea of all kinds of people that can consult with you or coach you through things. I think it's so needed nowadays because we won't do certain things for ourselves. I do have somebody, let me see.
Yeah, I wanted to, could I briefly respond to say that for you, you're reaching out of yourself. You're always giving to other people. It's all about other people. And then the question will be, what about you? Where do you fit in? You've given all this energy to other people. What about you? In terms of how we are relating to the world and to other people, there's often a lot of relationships. But what is the quality of those relationships? And how are we connecting with people? So often we can have a conversation, but how connected is that conversation? What is the quality of that conversation? So another key would be, are we listening? Are we listening to us, to another person? Are we listening to ourselves? But I interrupted you. So I'll let you get back to what you were saying.
Oh, well, that's okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I do feel like that, getting a sense of peace and organization and sitting down and self-realization of ourselves is so important. And I need to learn those lessons or those
Well,
tools.
I think we schooled in complication. We schooled in making everything complicated, and it's the simple, essential things that we're missing. Just taking a deep breath. How do you experience that in your body? How do you feel when you take that deep breath? When you breathe out, what is that feeling like for you? So
I'm one of those people that are like, I like that guided meditation. And I saw that you have it on YouTube, and I go,
yeah. Well,
works.
I do enjoy that. It's something I love. I love to do simply because I get to practice too. So if I'm talking about taking this deep breath, I'm also in it.
Right. Kimmy asked any suggestions on how to get unstuck.
Well, often, that's a great question, and it's. I don't want to play too many mind games because we can look at what does that mean? Because it's almost like the unstuckness is outside of the stuckness, and when you're too invested in being stuck, it sort of creates more stuckness because you inflate it. You become almost in a victim mode or victim cycle where you just see the problem, not. And when you just focus on problems, you're not going to put your energy into solutions. So it's gentle steps. So the gentle step could just be, okay, I'm just going to go outside for 5 minutes. That's a start. And with everything, gentle steps can develop. If you keep doing them, they'll eventually become, running a mile, running 5 miles, running 10, wherever you want to go with that. So momentum is really important, and shifting vibrations. So realigning to a different vibration. How do we realign? It's once again simple practice, very simple practices like a breath, like putting on high vibration music. There's I don't want to inundate you with ideas because there's so many, and it's important that you also explore your own solutions, explore your own things that you like to do, things that you enjoy doing. But essentially, don't attach too much with that thought, I am stuck, I am stuck, I am stuck. Don't attach too much to that. Don't give it energy. Take little steps towards things that you enjoy. It could be, I'm going to try a yoga class. Try new things. Explore outside of the box that you're stuck in, this little box that you're inhabiting. Explore outside of that, and you'll find gently, if you're gentle with yourself, solutions will come naturally, spontaneously. So it will arise. You won't have to sort of force it. Once you're forcing it, it's always kind of this masculine, tough kind of energy of discipline, which can work for some people, but it may be too brutal for you. So be really compassionate with yourself. Maybe just spend a little 5 minutes in the sun and go, the sun's out. I'm going to go outside and just feel the sun on my skin.
We need to, take those moments. We do. What you said is like telling ourselves we're stuck. And I get into that. I understand that because it just gets more overwhelmed. And for me, I kind of just do glob on more stuff. And
it can easily become also a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it can also easily become an identity. So, and I've noticed this a lot. So people almost become attached to that identity. Not that real problems don't exist, but it's more like you create an identity of yourself. I am stuck. I am stuck. I am stuck. You're just giving it more energy.
Mine is I am busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. And I noticed that like friends weren't, like calling or contacting, or we can meet social distance or something. And I'm like, how come, you didn't ask me or this or that? And they said, because you're too busy. And people come back and say, I know you're busy. I know you're busy. I know you're busy. And I go, well, I want to still do this other stuff. But I built this identity of being busy. So when you said that, I said, oh yeah, because I hear that from everyone. So I need to listen, because what I'm putting out is, what's, people are telling me back. So I've discovered that everybody thinks I'm, super busy. So, oh my goodness. So I want to ask you, how important is meditation?
I would say that it depends how one defines meditation, and I would shift the perspective more to quiet, reflective moments are what's important. So if you're not a monk and meditating 10 hours a day, it doesn't mean you're not living. It doesn't mean you're not growing. It doesn't mean you can't have inner peace. It's all about balance, and For me, often I'm just in the swimming pool and just sort of meandering along. It's a moment of meditation. I may be hiking and just quieten my mind and just listen to nature. There's so many opportunities I have here, but everyone has those opportunities, even in a taking a bath, where you just soak up the energy of the of that's a beautiful meditation. Even I think even in a shower, you could have that as your meditation. So just taking moments in your day and taking them as opportunities to be mindful, to clear your mind, to clear your emotions. You don't need to have a sort of rigid meditation practice where you're sitting down for whatever time in the day. It does help. And I think any practice that you do repetitively with discipline has uh, greater results. But I don't want to tie you into sort of either or, you have to do this or you have to do that, because there are many practices that work, and each person's an individual, each person's unique, and it's also the time in your life. You may literally have 5 minutes available, and maybe it's best you went for a run in those 5 minutes, because often people tell me about their lives, and they have kids and they have husbands and they have work and they have and I'm just kind of like, oh my god. And then when are they going to sleep? And then they're asking me about meditation, and I'm kind of like, we'd rather go for a run for 5 minutes, because you need to get your body moving. You need exercise. And considering your day, well, this take 3 deep breaths whenever you're feeling overwhelmed. Take three, even close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths. And that's going to be a powerful practice for you. You don't have to have this idea of, I need to fit in half an hour meditation every day.
Oh,
If
I
you
love
can,
that.
that's wonderful, and it's going to be very beneficial. However, some people really are busy. So,
True, true. It's I think too that, well, when I look at your life and I go, I want to meander and I want to swim in the pool and I want to be in the tropics for a while. Um, I think that the pandemic really changed a lot for people, and the stress of everything that happened. And I don't know what your take is on what changed in the energy in the universe, but this last 2 years we're in this collective, like everybody in the world is experiencing similar things at the same time with the virus and politics and all of that. And I feel like it's really important. I think I missed out in doing something calming to keep myself at this level instead of living in this stress level for 2 years. But this is like, I think, affected everybody, the energy and people being afraid. But Tammy was asking about grief. I just looked today that we almost have, how much is it, guys? Almost 1 million people that died here in the United States, and the grief is so high. And Tammy was saying, is there anything that you can say about moving out of mourning and that grief that so many people have right now?
yeah, well, grief is something that you can grieve the loss of a job, you can grieve the loss of a relationship, you can grieve the loss of a pet. And so as human beings, we all experience loss. So spiritual solutions are really important to navigate through loss, and the spiritual insights, spiritual practices are sustenance and can come back to that word medicine for grief. Uh, However, it can take time. Even losing a pet, it can really devastate, or really be painful on a person's heart. And one needs time, one needs self-care is really important. Talking to other people, keeping with practices that will maintain your health. So moving energy, I was talking a bit about hiking, and moving energy is so beneficial, being out in nature. So we tune into our environment, and we're not so stuck in our inner universe or innerverse. We can maintain connection to the earth, to the trees, to the animals. Uh, and moving out of grief, there are stages. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, she wrote a lot about the stages of grief, and these common stages that all people experience or people go through. But definitely we can, self-care practices help. Going for a massage is just a wonderful, wonderful investment, and it's an opportunity. Going for massage, it's something where you can be in your body, you can be out of your body, you don't have to do anything, you can meditate, you can just feel, you can sleep, you can. So things like that are really beneficial. There's definitely not one magic wand for grieving. I think for me, the spiritual insights are where one finds sustenance. So the idea that the soul never dies, for instance, is comforting for a lot of people. And everyone does have spiritual beliefs, and that's gonna can really support their recovery, or at least the grieving process. It's just something to be really sensitive with, and really be with, and have conversations with your inner being, and conversations with other people. And sometimes there's letters that writing letters can be the most healing process, because often they're things that are unsaid, and just getting it off your chest can be so healing. Whether it's just things that you just always wanted to say and you never said, or you just never had the opportunity to say. And I find that gets the energy moving, so it's not. I keep coming back to stuck now that we mentioned stuck. It's move the energy. When you write a letter, the energy will move a little bit. Write another letter. Sometimes talking to other family members will really help. Just realize that you're not alone. That you're not. That really helps to realize that you're not alone. To realize that you're not. That your pain is shared. It's felt by someone else. It's yeah. Once again, I never have the one size fits all solution. That it
Right.
is these are this is the human experience, and it's something we all go through at some level, and we will go through, and we will continue to experience.
I do want to go over that you have uh, YouTube videos for meditation. So you have that Starlight meditation on YouTube, and we have the links there for everybody. And you have free meditation classes, correct, on Zoom?
Yeah, which may not line up time wise. It depends where you are in the world, because I do it Australian time 8:30 p.m. on a Sunday night, which I know is lined up to 10:30 a.m. in London or UK time. So for some places, 10:30 a.m. UK, it's Europe basically. That can line up for you. I do have I do have a dedicated and very loyal man who comes every week, and he's in the States, so I know it is possible. It's early
Mhm.
morning for him. But I think in California it's actually Saturday evening, if I'm not
We
mistaken.
we have people from South Africa, from Ireland, from Scotland. We have a lot of people from the UK and East Coast. So we have people from everywhere. So the link for that is also in this broadcast. And you are taking on clients. Are you taking on clients right now?
Yeah, I have a new booking system. It's a video system, so it's not Zoom. It's something I've. It's sort of a direct video connection with me. If I'm online, you can actually come direct online, but you can set up appointments, and it's called Kintel. It's a software like Zoom, and I'm using that for my appointment system. And I offer free connection sessions and then paid sessions as well. So people can book that via the link.
Okay, and you gave me that link, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, then that's in our description as well because I put everything in there. We'll make sure that we are regularly putting out a little advertisement for David so that you will know how to connect to him. But there was something here that I was wondering about this what is a free discovery? What is the discovery thing that you do?
Well, that's a conversation. It's some people are just curious to meet with me and see if there's a rapport and see if it's something they would like to explore. So it's and it can just be it can be anything. Some people with a discovery session they just book that and they say, well, actually, I wanted to talk to you about creating an artwork for my my business. Or it can be something like that. It's a conversation, but it's via the same video software.
And your artwork, I know some of it's on Fine Art America, right?
Yeah, I do for myself. I've done a lot of art therapy, and I just love to create art. I think everyone's got a creative spirit and creative energy, and that's it's really important to highlight as human beings that we're here to create. So I love to create, and we are creative beings. We're here to express ourselves creatively. So so that's link will show you some of my artwork, and some of it you can order a T-shirt, or you can actually buy the some of the artwork directly, and also make a commission, a specific size or specific color or whatever it is to fit into your world.
Oh, that's so neat. I did get to see a couple of things that you did, but yeah, I love t-shirts. I'm like, when you said t-shirts, I'm like, yes, I could do that. Um, you do so many things, and you have such an incredible, interesting history of travel and being so spiritual, the spiritual path that you've taken. Um, it's just like absolutely wonderful. I do see that you did you like um Qigong? Is that am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Qigong?
yeah, yeah. I've studied at many schools in China, four schools in China, and one in Thailand, and one in Australia, and I studied in different schools. And I used to teach qigong. I haven't been teaching it lately. I used to. It's for me. It's a moving meditation, and it's just beautiful because you can coordinate the breath to the movement. So you can breathe up and then breathe out coming down. So the moving nature of the qigong is balancing, calming, healing. It's just a beautiful, beautiful practice.
Yeah. I heard about that a long, long time ago. And that what I was told when I was, talking to somebody is the great power of healing with it. And I was like, oh my gosh. But around here, it isn't, especially back then, wasn't known about it and how it works or anything. But what I heard, I go, that should be everywhere. Everybody should learn
Well,
that.
even in China, it's been suppressed. The Chinese government tried to shut it down, and the Cultural Revolution, they actually persecuted monks. They killed
Mm.
a lot of the monks, a lot of the teachers, the masters. So it's been suppressed in China and continues to be suppressed because they see it as a threat to their power. Because when people
Oh.
are self-empowered, they're not going to be that interested in what the government has to say.
Oh my gosh. And I, have always, I mean, if I could learn something, I would love to be involved in that because, it was just given to me. Actually found out I had a friend that was dying of cancer. And there was somebody in Los Angeles that practices a master or whatever you would call him. And so I learned more and more about this. And the more I was told, the more I was like, boy, I think everybody needs something. Even yoga. I'm telling you, I'm going to get a yoga person to do yoga on psychic fixes because I think it's the only way I'm gonna ever take a class. So, but I think we need to move, and with the energy that is brought into some of the practices of the healing. And I learned a way of healing, which I healed myself, for one, and I've done it for other people. And I go, I know that we can get all kinds of things in with energy work and movement, and then you get to be quiet or whatever. I think I'm very attracted to that. I know a lot of people are. But I know that we're getting short on time, and I have a question for you. So we're going to flip the switch. What brings you joy? What do you do that brings you joy? A hard
I
one? No.
It's the simple things, you know. I really enjoy baking, and there's something about the alchemy of taking ingredients and putting them together and making something new, making something different out of those ingredients, changing their form. I really enjoy art and music, as we've spoken a bit about the arts. But music, I think, is a wonderful gateway to the heart and a wonderful. The capacity for joy in music is for some people underrated. Where there's no, for some people, music is such a big part of their lives, and other people that occasionally just have no music at all, and you can really notice the difference between the person listening to music, it's part of their world, versus someone who's removed from that. So I really think music is just a wonderful gateway, a wonderful heart-based, joyful joyful gift, I would say.
I think that when we talk about wellness, I think that that's probably something that we tended today to talk about, when people have things going on and everything. But the thing is that I feel like joy, joy that can lift our spirits, and that's got to be healing and all of that. And I go, I think that we need to get back to, um, putting that into our lives. When you talk about music, I actually know somebody that has a healing music, you know, um, practice. And all it takes for me is to hit the button on the radio for the oldies music. Takes me back to high school and junior high, and it's just so fun. And I think that that's an immediate thing, joyful, a memory, good memories, and just brings you right up. And I think that we need to keep ourselves in some kind of higher vibration. Do you think
Yeah,
there
yeah.
if people tend to get illnesses that are a lower vibrational and not getting up into the joy and all of that, do you think that I don't know, a frequency or something that they need to lift themselves up to stay healthy?
Yeah, everything's about frequency and vibration, everything. So movement and sound are so powerful. And in some of the ancient practices, when you combine movement, sound, and breath, then you got explosion. Then you got this fabric of time being shifted. The universe is opening up. And I think um, taking this into a very more primal basis, we almost have to think of how we were created as human beings, and what is our source. I know Wayne Dyer, he used to talk about the sounds of creation, and he would say the earth sound, and he said in so many of the traditions, even the name, he would say God, Buddha, Krishna, and then he mentioned the orgasmic sound, and he said, yeah, when people, the orgasmic sound is like an ah, and he said this is even in our formation as human beings and our conception as how we were created. There's something in that creative process, in becoming a being, and the breath, the movement, the sound. So all of those combine to make alchemy, to make magic. So absolutely, breath, movement, sound, power.
Oh my goodness. I love that. I love energy work, and I know that there's power in it, and I know it works. And so I just think that what you're doing for people, you just when you just said that you have that discovery option, how wonderful that you open up yourself to people calling and let's talk. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
well, I
I
think
love it.
I think it. I think there's selfish there's selfish aspects of engaging with other people, because when we share energy, we always gain something. When we share a story, when we share wisdom, when there's someone there with us on that journey, then we gain. So it's also that I gain from talking to people, and it's not, I'm always gaining from talking to people. I'm always learning something. It may just be learning about myself. It may not even be learning about. We learn about each other, and we gain from sharing experience, from connecting.
Awesome. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I think it's important now. People were very isolated from each other. And so I'm hoping that we open up and we all get to gather again. But thank goodness for Zoom. I think, I really do, for the platforms that we get to talk to each other and reach out. And today, look at, I reached out all the way to to Australia, and it was great. Um, you have any? Let me just kind of look at what you have here really fast. Um, do you have any, like, do you ever come out, you say that you channel wisdom. Can you explain that? Are you like channeling just the universe, or a god, or what are you channeling out when you say that you channel that
Well, it's
wisdom to people?
interesting because I'm a writer, and I do have a blog which I can share with you as well. I didn't send that over because I haven't been writing that much. It's almost like my mind is a filter, and thoughts come in, and I think anyone who does any creative work will share the same story, where we don't know where does it come from. We don't know. It doesn't come from us. We're just the channel for that. So with writing, with artwork, with music, we are the channel, and we're connected to something greater than ourselves. We're connected to spiritual dimensions. So I can talk a bit about guides and guardian angels, and I do have a few beliefs around that and a few connections. But I know some spiritual teachers, they give their guides names, and it starts to maybe be part of their identity, and they talk to these whatever disease or for me it hasn't been like that. I tried to make it like that. I think many years back I tried to do it, and I found, well, it's talking to the amorphous field opens one up for all sorts of energies to come in, and so I always filter it through myself, and don't just rely on uh, receiving anything that comes along, because any energy can come into the space. So you do have to protect your space and be and align accordingly. Be strategic in your alignments. There's a word that is really important, but I cannot remember what that word is. But being discerning. There we go.
Yes.
Discernment.
Yeah,
Discernment is
discernment
really
of
important.
spirits.
So I channel spiritual messages for people and spiritual messages from the universe, and it has a certain nature, it has a certain energy. You can feel it, and I do write in my blog, but sometimes it becomes about me, or it becomes intellectual. So I can kind of feel the difference, and when I'm just filtering it through my intellect, or whether it's coming from a higher source, I can kind of feel it. However, I'm doing all those things, so sometimes I may just be stuck in my ego, perhaps. Don't like to
Well,
admit that, but it can happen.
we have a couple people saying hello. Hello, Sabine.
Hello, Sabine, beautiful dog.
Do you see? That dog came from another country. I
Oh,
think.
wow.
Did it come from another country, Sabine? Anyway, it's a very big dog. Very, very nice dog. Okay, so when I channel, and it just, I try to keep everything worded, my home or whatever, but I don't even know when I type and then I go, who typed that or what I said. I had to learn how to listen to what I'm saying, because I would just say something and say something. Oh, she said not Jade, it was Bella. That was from another country. Um, but I noticed that I would just say stuff, and then finally I was like, wait a minute, this meant something, or this was to tell somebody something. So I had to kind of learn, like, okay, listen to what you say, because I didn't have, I guess, what you have of knowing that this was something that was channeled. This, to me, I'm just talking, and then I go, why did I say that? I do that a lot. Why did I say that? Well, hello. You're supposed to tell somebody something. So I think it's really great, though. I love
Yeah,
that.
openness is really important, and we live in such a skeptical world that people, even people who are channeling, there is skeptical. So, and they're skeptical themselves, and they don't necessarily trust the process. And if you go on YouTube, there's so many people who just out there to disprove everything, disprove everyone, and sort of demoralize the people, and cancel the good that they do, and make people. I know there's a guy, Randy, and
Yeah.
his big
Yes.
thing was disproving everyone, and I think,
Yeah.
I think he didn't have. I think he had good intentions on some level. He wasn't. It's not that these people, they, for in their own worldview, they're just doing what they think is good, not realizing the damage. Uh, However, when you have sort of tangible experience with spirit, where it's all right, this is not me, and often it is verified by another person, and you have this every day, and you're like, okay, then you build the confidence for that. But
Yep.
definitely, I also have skepticism. I'm also, if my energy is not clear, I can be very caught up in low vibrations. And so I understand, I understand people are skeptical, and
Do you have a
it,
certain way that you clear yourself when you clear that? Do you clear your whole area or?
well, I always imagine a white light clearing all the energy, and I do think that physical health is really important, and you're a vessel for this divine wisdom, and if the vessel's dirty, that's going to affect how you operate. So even if you think of a computer needs to be clean, it needs the right energy channel, electricity coming in constantly to operate effectively. If you throw alcohol on your screen, or throw oil on your screen, or things are going to get in, it will start to affect its functioning. So there's
Mhm.
an optimal way that it needs to function in its environment, and human beings are the same way. To function optimally, we need some of the things we've been talking about: support, love, loving relationships, community, sunshine, the right food, sleep. So sleep is really important. So our sleep environment is something that we could spend time talking about, because most of us struggle with that, and particularly with this phone addiction that most of us have are part of on some level.
I
Um,
swear I wouldn't do that. I swear, I got rid of when I retired, I got rid of my phone. And I found out, just in case, I better have one. And I said, I never, never, never. And then I go, oh, my hand hurts. I'm doing this.
mm,
I'm like, I'm doing it. No, I swear I should lock it away somewhere for some amount of time.
yeah. But in terms of clearing one space, it's we each have a resilience. We each have our thresholds of being. What is resilience require? How do you build resilience? So sleep is like probably the number one thing. If you sleep really well, you're going to be more resilient. You can cope more with electromagnetic fields. Your where you live is really important to the energy. So your environment, are there are there rocks around you, high vibration materials? So just on a physical level, having surfaces like rock is going to ground you, is going to help clear your energy. So it can be kind of very sort of structural, practical suggestions in your environment. Or will you have this kind of this kind of floor, or if we replace the floor with rocks, with a rock floor, with stone or whatever it is, that's going to really help to ground the energy. Just as an example, so the material that you surround yourself in is gonna affect your resilience and your ability to clear that energy. So that energy is, having I have regular showers that helps to clear energy. Being in the tropics, you're kind of encouraged to be in water a lot. So I'm in water a lot, and water really helps to balance me.
Hmm.
As an example,
I have I like, you have artwork, you've created your artwork, but you could see my elephant. Oh, I go the wrong way. There's my elephant up there. I have all kinds of statues,
oh, I
part.
love that.
Oh, I have, where is she? Hold on. So, somebody was just asking me her. I'm looking around. She's so heavy. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I don't know where I put her. She's somewhere. Anyway, I have the thinker. I have this guy is wrote plays, and somebody, put it at their store, this old, bronze, heavier than anything's, bust of him, and I just love that. And have my lion. I have so many things, but I have this really neat. I don't know. You would know where she's from, I'm sure. But isn't that weird? There's a reason I can't find her, I guess. I'll have to send you
Well,
her
those,
picture.
those all each has an energy, and that can fill you with joy. It can connect you.
I'm going to
Each,
send you
each.
a picture because I think she's from Bali and you might know who she is. But oh, here she is. Hold on, if you don't mind. Oh my gosh, she's so heavy. Let me see if I can get her up to the camera. So she's really
Mm.
heavy. Now I have a tuning fork and a crystal because that's how I clear. And I don't know what she is, but when I saw her, I said I have to have her. But boy, she weighed a lot. And but this is how I, do it.
I think
Sometimes,
she could be Saraswati. Oh, sorry. I love. Oh, that's beautiful.
yeah, she's
Oh,
really
she's
pretty.
beautiful. I
And
think
there you
she
go.
may be Saraswati, this wonderful goddess, this beautiful goddess.
Okay.
But there's also, I mean, I don't, I that's one religion I haven't studied. I've been to Bali a few times, and I've worked in Indonesia, but I haven't studied so much Hinduism actually. But there's also
She got a
Parvati.
peacock, I think, a peacock or something there.
Peacock.
No, I guess it's
There's
not.
some
Just a
more.
little
I've seen
bird.
a lot of statues with Parvati, the goddess of love.
Uh huh.
But for some reason, I thought that was Saraswati.
Well,
Yeah,
I
do you
looked
have any
that up.
Indian friends? Any Indian friends you could ask?
I do actually. I could send a picture. I just
Yeah,
get all these things that I just really love around, and my crystal and my tuning fork, which I use. Let me see if I could do. Which I do for clearing around corners and things like that. I've got lots of different things here. But anyway, it's fun and unusual, and I find things that people made. And I have the most unusual, like spoons that people made out of shells and stuff. And I just go, they just kind of find me. And I love having
yeah.
them around. So I think you have to extra clear around because I have so much stuff in here. But
But
I think
there
it's
is something about handmade, and I was going to mention it earlier, funnily enough, about things that are made by hand carry the energy of the person who created them, and all the time and energy they put into it. So it's
right.
very a very special quality, which so many things are made in factories that they're a bit
Mhm.
cold, a bit clinical. So the handmade is something that I think we often lacking in the Western world, and I think people are coming back to it and appreciating it and
I
realizing
know
its value.
through some different projects, I like to buy things from people in a village somewhere in another country that are doing it as a business to help support their community. So, and they make everything by hand. And I think that's so special. And I love those types of gifts to give and all of that. My
Yeah, and
goodness.
Bali is just extraordinary. I mean, the amounts of work that goes in, the people, when I spent time there, I just saw people with wood and with stone and all you drive along the road and there's just all these sculptures and deities made of
Mhm.
stone and it's just amazing what they can fashion, what they can sculpt with their hands. It's
I
remarkable.
I think a lot of people wish that they could have gone to experience all those travels that you have and meeting the people and immersing yourself into the culture and seeking out whatever you're seeking when you go because the healing practices and the teachings and all of that is so wonderful. I'm looking at the clock and seeing that we are have done our hour. um, Talked a lot of things, about you. I'd love to have you on, David, whenever you want. And I will continue put out there that David's available for, talking to. And you can go book him and be a client. And he has artwork. Everything is in the description. We'll get whatever else we need in there for you guys. And this has just been the most wonderful hour. We've talked about so many things. And and there's so many more things we could talk about, that's for sure. But it was kind of an introduction for you guys to meet David. I knew he was very special when I met him. What a great heart you have, David. And I feel like you have so much more places to go, more work. New work may be coming. I'm just amazed by you. And we all need this. Talking to someone who is grounded and getting this wisdom or any channeled stuff, and to be able to know how important it is that we take care of ourselves and seeking our own wellness, I think helps us to heal others as well. And so I want to give you just a few minutes to say whatever you want to say now before we sign off.
Well, it's just wonderful to be with you, Debbie. I feel like we could talk forever, and there's just so much to talk about. So it's been an absolute joy for me to, it's my morning in Australia, and just have my morning shared with you has just been wonderful. And thank you so much. And with, with things like YouTube and sharing, I'm happy if people have questions and they want me to focus on something, because then it gives me a focus, and it gives me kind of impetus. It gives me energy, because someone's actually interested in this topic. It gives me that energy. So feel free to make requests if you have them, and I'll go. I can go more on YouTube if that's something people want. And there's just so many things we could share together. I do want to just say quickly that just remember that this experience is fleeting, it's short-lived, it's ephemeral, and you're here to experience it, and you're here to experience the good times, the bad times, the difficult, the joyous, the happy and the sad. It's all comes together, and it's just a short moment. So you may feel a lot of pain right now, but that too will pass. So be patient and enjoy the moment as much as you can. And also remember that your soul will keep living, your soul will keep going. And this body is just this beautiful vessel that we're here to enjoy. We're here to experience things with this body, and that's not a real opportunity. So something to enjoy, express yourself with your body, move your hands, let the energy roll, let the energy run. And bless you all, may God bless you, and thank you so much for listening today and tuning in. And thank you so much, Debbie, just to be with me and to have me as your guest. Thank you.
Just an honor. So, David, don't go anywhere, but we're going to say goodbye right now, and then we'll talk after. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching.